In this video, we're going to talk you through step by step how to set up a limited company in Ireland. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to complete the online form at a cost of €50 if you are an EEA resident. If you are ready to jump into setting up your company, you can skip ahead to the next section. We'd first like to cover some information you should be aware of before setting up a company in Ireland. There are also a number of things you need to have ready before starting the process. In general, it is not a good idea to set up a limited company if you are starting a small business by yourself and you haven't generated sufficient profits to reinvest back into the business. You are much better off operating as a sole trader. The biggest reason why is while the cost to set up a limited company is low, the cost of getting an accountant to submit an annual return to the CRO is not. This can cost you anywhere between €1,000 to €1,500 plus VAT. The best thing to do is to validate your idea first. In Ireland, you don't need to register as being self-employed until your non-PAYE income exceeds sales of €30,000 or net profits of €5,000. You simply declare your income using a Form 12 online. If you have a small, simple business, this is definitely something you can do yourself. In order to set up a company in Ireland, you need one EEA director. If you are a non-EEA resident, you need to have a Section 137 bond in place. Costs can vary from €1,800 to €2,500 plus VAT. This is payable every 2 years. You also need a company secretary. This can be a friend or family member. In Irish company law, a company secretary is responsible for ensuring that the company meets its legal, regulatory, and corporate governance obligations. In practice, it will often mean signing a number of documents once per year. If you don't have a friend or family member who can act as a company secretary, there are a number of companies offering this service in Ireland for a fee of roughly €300 plus VAT per year. If you have additional shareholders, you'll also need their personal details. First, you need to log in to core.cro.ie. If you don't have an account, it is very easy to set one up. Once you're logged in, you should see this screen. Click on Start under File a Form. On the right-hand side, click on Start next to Form A1, Application to Incorporate a Company. The first thing you need to update is the company type. For 99% of people, you will be selecting Private Company Limited by Shares. You'll see the Section 137 bond. As mentioned previously, this only applies if you are a non-EEA resident. An owner-management company is a legal entity established in multi-unit developments, such as apartment blocks, to manage and maintain the common areas for all the owners within that development. Next, enter the company name. There are a few rules when selecting your company name. Some of those rules include you cannot select the name of a company which already exists. This is known as passing off. You also cannot select a name which is so similar to an existing name that it is reasonable to assume it may cause confusion among the general public. There are also a number of restricted or protected words such as architect. It's important to remember that the onus is on you to ensure you comply with the rules, not on the CRO. Just because you've been able to register a company using a name does not mean at a future date it cannot be challenged by another company. When entering the name, you exclude the word Limited or LTD. Enter the name you want to use and click on Search. When you're happy with the name, click on Limited for legal ending, or the second option if you'd like to use the Irish version of Limited. Next, enter your email address. The next thing is to select your NACE code. The best thing to do is to open up the PDF and search for which code is best aligned to your business. Next, enter your address details. Now you need to add at a minimum one secretary and one director. Enter their details below and click on Save. Now we enter both the authorized share capital and the issued share capital. The authorized share capital means the maximum number of shares a company can issue, and the issued is how many shares have been issued. For example, if you have two shareholders with a 50-50 split, you may have 100 shares authorized and 100 issued, with each shareholder receiving 50 shares each. For this example, we'll assume two shareholders with 50 shares each. The authorized and issued will be the same. Don't worry in the future if you need to add additional shareholders. You can change the authorized number of shares at any time. We'll enter the currency of EUR, share class of A. The number of shares is 100 and the nominal amount is €1. You can use different classes to give different rights to different shareholders. For example, holders of Class A shares have a right to 10% of their investment each year, and owners of Class B have a right to 25% of the profits shared equally amongst the holders. However, for this example, we're going to keep it simple and have just one class we'll call Class A. The next section we need to complete is the subscribers to the memorandum. In this section, you only list the shareholders. If you have a director or a secretary with no shares, do not list them here. Next, complete the declaration of compliance and select the person who will be responsible. Enter their details. Now, we're on to the Constitution. A company constitution is the rules the company operates by. For a more complex company, you can go to a solicitor and get a set of rules made up, but for a simple company like the example we're working through, the auto-generated constitution is more than suitable. Now, we enter the subscriber details and enter the split of shares. As already mentioned, we're entering a 50-50 split for both shareholders. We're not 100% sure what description means. We've entered director for one and shareholder for the other party. Once completed, click on Generate Constitution. The Constitution will need to be signed by all parties and will also need an additional person to witness the signatures. This will need to be printed, signed and returned to the CRO together with the completed Form A1. We're at the verification stage, and now we're nearly finished. On the signature details, make sure you enter both a director and the company secretary, and click on Save. Review the summary page and ensure all of the details you've entered are correct. When you're happy with everything, click on Submit. If there are no errors, you should see this page. You need to complete the payment, which is €50. Once you have completed it, should take 5 to 10 working days on average. But this is subject to volumes, so this can vary. When you have your company set up, you can now open a bank account. Make sure the shareholders to your company register with the RBO. We hope this video has been helpful. If you found it useful, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for more Irish small business content. You can also find more content on our website, irishsmallbusiness.ie.